Good morning. Hi. Hi, Robin. All right, welcome you guys. It's about 9. Make sure you can see me. All right. Looks good. All right, thank you for joining me this morning. Let's get started. I'm glad to see you guys here. Good luck with your 2 kids. Have them do it with us. All right, so we're going to start in tabletop. So come down with your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and I just want you to spread your knees out just a little wider, and we're going to sit back in child's pose. So beginning here with the hips resting back against the heels, the arms stretching toward the top of your mat. If your forehead does not naturally touch the floor, fold your arms underneath your head and rest your head on your arms. So you do want your head to be supported. Go ahead and close your eyes here. And begin to breathe in and out through your nose with your mouth closed. So if you can't do that, if your nose is congested, or if you just can't breathe through your nose this morning, then just breathe any way you can. But inhaling and exhaling through the nose with the mouth closed, that is yoga breath. So just beginning there. Start to turn all of your attention to your breath. So we are intentionally creating some space between ourself and our thoughts. So whatever has been occupying your mind, crowding your thoughts, whatever's in that head chatter of yours, see if you can let it go just a little bit this morning. And if it's hard to do that, just remember the first step is to focus your attention on something else. And that could be your breath right here. And just stay for another round or 2 of full belly breaths. So again, trying to expand your breath beyond your chest, beyond your lungs, into your diaphragm. So it feels like you're breathing deeper in your belly. And just take one more full inhale here. And one more long, slow exhale. And then as you inhale, we're going to lift back into tabletop. So coming back up to all fours. Take your hands directly under your shoulders. Take your knees directly underneath your hips. Spread your fingers out wide, so you're starfishing your hands. Press your knuckles into the floor. Maybe tuck the thumbs a little closer to the index fingers, just so you don't stress out the webbing between those 2 fingers. And then as you inhale, turn your toes under, stretching the bottoms of your feet. Bring your belly down, bring your gaze forward, coming into cow pose. And then as you exhale, flatten out your feet, press your spine up toward the ceiling, curl your chin, curl your hips. Flow a few times here into cow, inhaling as you come into cow, and then exhaling as you press into cat. Take your time. Find your rhythm with your breath. So inhaling as you come into the cow, exhaling as you come into cat. Let's take 2 more rounds, so 2 more full breath cycles. And after that last full exhale, just come back to a neutral position or tabletop position. From here, let's walk the hands just a little bit higher. So maybe 1 hand length higher. Starfish the fingers again, tuck the toes under, lift up your knees and come up to downward facing dog. Let's keep the knees soft here. So pedaling the legs a few times, keeping the knees bent just to protect the hamstrings, while we're still warming up and stretching into the back of the body. So as you're pedaling the legs, try to draw your shoulders down away from your ears. If it feels okay to let your head hang between your arms, then you can let your head hang. If it's better to keep your head lifted a little bit, then that's okay too. Find what feels comfortable for your neck. And then we'll settle into stillness. So coming into downward facing dog, knees can be soft, heels can be lifted. Roll the shoulders down and in. Press your chest back just a bit towards your thighs, finding that length in the legs and the back. Stay for 1 more full breath here. As you exhale, look forward to your hands and then take baby steps to bring your feet up to your hands. Coming into forward fold, reach up and take opposite elbows. Tuck your chin just a little bit so you're not holding your head up, but rather letting your head hang. Knees can be bent or straight. And then think about reaching the crown of your head toward the floor. Maybe open your mouth wide a few times, letting go of any tension you're holding in your jaw. Letting your jaw relax. Stay for another full breath here. Arms are heavy, head is heavy. And then at the end of that exhale, go ahead and release your elbows. Tuck your chin to your chest, curl your spine, come up to standing slowly 1 vertebrae at a time. Trying to move through each portion of your back. So as you rise up, stacking the spine, shoulders come back and down, head comes up last. Bring your hands to prayer. Pressing palm to palm. And then we're just going to shift the weight side to side a few times, from right foot to left foot to right foot. And then coming to center, shift your weight forward and backward a few times, from the balls of the feet to the heels of the feet. And then slowly make your way back to center. So we're just going to settle in the middle of all of that. And then feel the foundation through the bottoms of your feet. So pressing into the base of the big toe and the base of the pinky toe. The heels are pressing down. The arches are lifting. The kneecaps are lifting. The thighs are strong. The low belly is strong. The chest is lifting. The shoulders are dropping. Take another big belly breath here. Let it go. And then with your inhale, reach your arms overhead. As you exhale, separate your hands, swan dive and fold forward, bending your knees as you go. And then we'll step the right foot back, coming into runner's lunge. So lifting onto the fingertips if you need to. Try to lengthen the spine as if you're trying to reach your heart forward toward the top of your mat. At the same time you're doing that, let your hips drop. Keep your right leg really active. So the right quad is strong, the heel is lifting, the kneecap is turning toward the floor. You're probably feeling a big stretch in your hips here, and that's exactly what we want. Stay for another breath. And then plant your hands. We're going to step the left foot coming into plank. So 2 feet at the back of the mat, hands under the shoulders. Turn the elbows in toward the ribs. Lift the belly toward the spine. Stay for another full breath here. And then as you exhale, we're going to soften the knees, press back to downward facing dog. So again, option to pedal the legs a few times if you want to, taking some movement, or maybe just finding stillness. So if you'd rather just stay still, find your breath, really expanding your breath into your belly, into your diaphragm. 2 more full rounds of breath here. Big inhales, long, slow exhales. 1 more full breath. Exhale, let it go. Bring your gaze forward. Take baby steps to bring the feet up. Keep a little space between the feet. Reach for opposite elbows, coming back into ragdoll. Let your head relax, your neck relax. Maybe shake your head no. Nod your head yes. And then let your head hang from the base of your neck, which is rooted between your shoulder blades. So no tension in the neck here at all. 1 more full breath. At the end of your exhale, release your arms. Make that same transition. Bend your knees, curl your spine, come up to standing slowly. Feel that movement through each vertebrae. This can go as slowly as you want it to go. Shoulders come back and down, head comes up last, gaze comes forward, hands to the chest. Turn your kneecaps forward, draw your tailbone down, reaching into the crown of the head, bring the low belly in, take another breath here. And then with your inhale, root into the feet, reach through the fingertips, lifting into upward salute. Exhale, swan dive back into that forward fold, bend your knees as you go, and then we'll reach the left foot back to runner's lunge. So taking that same lunge position, that same hip stretch on the left side, lifting onto the fingertips, lifting through the heart, bring the gaze forward toward the top edge of your mat, and we're trying to keep the hips low, the left leg really strong, and take 1 more full breath here. At the end of your exhale, we're going to step back to plank, so right foot meets left foot. Hang on to that plank position for a breath. Bring the belly in and up. Press through the hands like you're pushing the floor away. And then exhale, release to downward facing dog. Feel free to bend the knees here again. And then this will be our last hold in downward facing dog. So if you want to take a few breaths and pedal the legs, or you can move into stillness here. One more round of belly breath. Big inhale. Long, slow exhale. And at the end of your exhale, look forward to your hands. This time with baby steps or maybe a jump, bring your feet together between your hands. Take your hands to your shins, lift up halfway. Knees can be bent. Gaze is forward, spine is long. And then exhale, fold forward, tuck your chin. Inhale, long spine, reverse swan dive, all the way up to upward salute. Exhale, hands to heart, gaze comes forward. Take a quiet breath in mountain pose. So finding that good posture. Legs are strong, low belly drawing in. And then on your inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive and fold forward. On your inhale, take that half lift. Lift up halfway, touch the shins. And then with your exhale, right foot steps back. We're going straight to low lunge. So release the right knee, untuck the toes, sweep the arms overhead. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Option to ease the hips back just a bit if the stretch is a little too much, or drop the hips in if you'd like a little deeper stretch. Pinkies forward, thumbs back. And then from here, let's create a little lift in the chest. So start to lift your gaze, lift your heart. Keep drawing your tailbone in and under, pulling your pubic bone towards your navel, keeping some length in the low back. 1 more full breath. Now as you exhale, reach down, frame that left foot. We're going to shift the hips back and come into half split. So maybe walking the hands back to create a little more space between the chest and the leg, or walking the hands up to create a little more stretch. Stay for 1 round of belly breath. Big inhale. Long, slow exhale. And then soften your left knee, shift your hips forward, tuck your right toes, lift your right knee. Step back to plank. You can hang on to your plank position or come with me for a modified vinyasa, dropping knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, slide to the belly, take that low cobra, little heart opener, and then exhale, press up through table, and release back to child's pose. Stretch the fingertips toward the top of your mat, reaching through the arms, but drawing the tailbone back. Take one big belly breath. As you exhale, let it all go. And then inhale through table, back to downward facing dog. Exhale as you press back. Stay for one full breath. As you exhale, look forward. And then again, walking or jumping, feet between the hands, close together. Lift up halfway, touch the shins. Exhale, forward fold, let the head go. Inhale, long spine, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to heart, bring your gaze forward, finding mountain pose. Take a quiet breath in mountain pose, let that energy settle. And then inhale, sweep the arms up, lift your gaze. Exhale, swan dive and fold. Soften the knees if you need to. Inhale to half lift, gaze forward, touch the shins. Exhale, left foot to low lunge. So big step back, release the left knee, untuck the toes, sweep the arms back and then up. Remember to ease out for a little less, drop in for a little more. Upper body is vertical, fingers reaching toward the ceiling. And then if you want to create a little back bend, start to lift your gaze. Lift your heart, draw your tailbone under. One more big belly breath. And as you exhale, reach forward, frame the right foot with the hands, shift your hips back. Straightening the right knee as much as you like, maybe lifting a little higher or folding a little deeper. Stay for one round of belly breath here. And then as you inhale, soften your right knee. Shift your weight forward, tuck your left toes, lift your knees, step back to plank. You can always just hold plank position for a breath or squeeze the elbows in toward the ribs. Drop knees, chest, and chin. Inhale to cobra, little lift in the chest. And then exhale, release through tabletop, back to child's pose. Spreading the knees out as wide as you need to here. Inch the fingers toward the top of your mat, creating that long length in the spine. Stay for one full belly breath. As you exhale, let it all go. And then inhale through table. Exhale to downward facing dog. Stay for a full breath. And at the end of your exhale, look forward to your hands and then walk or jump, feet between the hands. Lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart, gaze forward, coming back into mountain pose. Stay for a quiet breath. And then bring your right hand to your right hip. Pick up your left knee and hold your left knee with your left hand. So once you get your knee lifted, see if you can stack your spine. So we're trying to reach the crown of the head toward the ceiling, reach the tailbone down toward the floor. And then once you get your spine stacked, see if you can straighten your standing leg. So the right leg gets really strong and straight. Draw the low belly in. Keep the gaze forward, and then open the left knee sideways to the left. Keep turning the belly button forward. Keep your gaze forward, and stay for one more breath here. As you inhale, bring your left knee forward again. Hands to hips, kick the left heel.
and then float the left foot down, stepping the feet about shoulder distance apart here. So now we've got a little space between the feet, we've got a little more foundation in the feet. Bring your hands back to your chest. On your inhale, sweep your arms overhead. As you exhale, reach your right hand to your right side, stretch a little taller through the left, and then lean sideways to the right. Once you get tipped over sideways as deeply as you can go, start to draw your left shoulder back, lift your gaze, and look in the direction of your left elbow. So we've got a side bend and then a little rotation, pulling the left shoulder back. One more breath here. Inhale, come back up to center, sweep both arms up. As you exhale, release your left arm to the left side. Stretch a little taller through the right side. Gently lean to the left. So you want to lean as far as you can go comfortably. And then start to draw the right shoulder back. Lift your gaze in the direction of your right elbow. So we're combining some side bending with a little rotation to prepare us for some of our standing postures. Take another breath. And then inhale, come all the way back up, 2 hands reaching overhead. As you exhale here, swan dive again to forward fold. And we're going to come into big toe posture. So if you can easily reach your big toes, take your first 2 fingers and hook your big toes with your first 2 fingers. If you can't quite reach your toes, you can hold your shins or reach up and come back into ragdoll, taking opposite elbows. If you have your big toes, flare your elbows sideways. Soften your knees just a little bit and use the strength of your arms to draw your chest toward your legs. Keep reaching the crown of your head toward the floor. And then maybe once you get there, play around with bending and straightening your knees a little bit. Finding your edge. So finding the point where you feel good release in your hamstrings, but not discomfort. Stay for 2 breaths. And then at the end of your exhale, go ahead and release that bind. Let the toes go. Step your right foot back again to runner's lunge. So we're going to step onto the ball of the foot, sink the hips down, shine the heart forward, make your right leg really active. Keep your right hand down, sweep the left arm up, taking that twist to the left side. So we played around with rotation when we were standing. We're going to have a deeper rotation here since we're not side bending. The spine is long and extended. Try to revolve each vertebrae in the spine, lifting through the left fingertips. Take another round of breath here. And then as you exhale, bring your left hand down, quarter turn to your right side, pivot your feet, and come into a wide leg forward fold. Maybe the hands can walk under the shoulders. Maybe the hands are going to walk through the feet. Knees can be bent here. Let your head go, let your neck relax. Stay for a big belly breath. And then walk your hands back under your chest. Soften your knees a little bit. Bring your hands to your hips. And with a nice long spine, come all the way up to standing. Take your time coming up. And once you get all the way up, we're going to flip the left foot 90 degrees to the top of the mat. Right foot turns in just a few degrees here. Open your arms out in a T, and we're going to sink into the left knee. As the left knee moves forward over the middle of the foot, draw your right shoulder back, coming into Warrior Two. Look to your left hand. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. Low belly is still drawing in. Tailbone is still tucking under. Make your right leg really active so the quad is strong. Keep that strength in the right quad. Take one more breath here. And then straighten the left knee. We're going to shift the hips to the right side, shoulders over the left knee, and then sideways and down, coming into extended triangle. So this is where we have that side bend with rotation. So we're leaning over the left leg, Drawing the right shoulder back, trying to stack the right hand above the right shoulder. Right leg is still strong. Gaze is lifting. Maybe there's a little bend in that left knee. Take one more breath here. Inhale, rise back up to warrior two, dropping into the left knee. Keep that strength in the right thigh. Flip your palms forward. And then exhale to side angle. So now the left elbow can prop on the left arm or the left leg, or the left fingers can reach toward the floor. Right arm can lift overhead, or the right arm can reach over the right ear. Stay for a full breath. And then keeping the legs strong, the low belly in, rise back up, warrior two. And then as you exhale here, cartwheel the hands around the left foot. Step back to plank. Option to hold your plank. Take knees, chin, and chest. Or come with me for chaturanga. Squeeze the elbows in. Float forward onto the big toes. Bend the elbows, coming into hover. Inhale to up dog or cobra. And then exhale, press to downward facing dog. Take 2 more rounds of belly breath here. Spread the fingers out, spread the toes out. Feel free to keep the knees soft. Last full breath. And as you exhale, look forward to your hands. With your inhale, jump or walk. Feet between the hands, lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. And exhale to namaste. Hands to heart, gaze forward, take a quiet breath. Strong foundation still, legs strong, low belly engaged, chest lifting, shoulders dropping. On your inhale, sweep your arms up. Take your right thumb and first finger to your left wrist, keeping your head between your arms. Tilt sideways to the right. Rooting into the left foot, and then once you get as sideways as you can, start to roll the left shoulder back, lift your gaze. Take a big breath. Inhale, come all the way back to center. Switch out your grip, left hand to the right wrist. Lean sideways to the left. Rooting into the right foot. Draw your right shoulder back, lift your gaze, take another breath. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release, bring your hands back to your heart. And then we're going to reach the left hand to the left hip, shift weight into the left foot, and we'll find the right knee. So holding the right knee with the right hand, remember we're stacking the spine, so find your gazing point. If you're struggling with balance, then just work on stacking your spine. You might wobble out and come back a few times, and that's okay. Draw your belly in, open your right knee sideways. Continue to turn your belly forward. Continue to stack your spine. Option to strengthen and straighten that standing leg if you're able. One more breath here. And then gently draw your right knee forward. 2 hands to your hips. Kick your heel and float the right leg down. Stepping the feet apart just a bit. So now we've got that equal standing or that parallel position in the feet. Bring your hands to your heart. On your inhale, sweep your arms overhead. And as you exhale, swan dive again, coming back into that forward fold. And we'll come into Astapadasana or slide the hands under the feet. So this is hand under foot posture. Lifting the soles of the feet to slide the palms under. So it might just be that the tips of your fingers are under the tips of your toes. And that's okay. You can bend your knees to get there. If you have your full palm underneath your full sole, maybe work on pressing a little body weight into the balls of the feet to get that stretch on the wrists. And then maybe again play around with bending and straightening the knees if you like. Finding your edge. Finding deep hamstring release. Stay for another breath.
And then release the bind. Step your left foot back, coming back into runner's lunge left side. So shine the heart forward, strengthen the left leg, roll the kneecap toward the floor, and then left hand down, right arm up, twist to the right. Reaching the right arm above the right shoulder. Lots of rotation in the spine, but the spine is still really extended. Left leg is strong. Stay for another breath. And then exhale, right hand down, quarter turn to your left. Pivot your feet with you. So the big toes should be facing the long end of your mat. And so this time you'll have the option to either walk the hands under the chest, walk the hands through, reach out and take a bind, or if you want a little bit more of a shoulder stretch, reach back, clasp the hands together, maybe press the palms together. If you can, lift the arms away from the back, straighten the elbows, and it might be more like here, and that's okay. Just taking the shoulder stretch with the forward fold. Feel free to keep that bend in the knees. 2 rounds of belly breath here. And then walk the hands under the chest, soften the knees, reach the hands to the hips, lift all the way up to standing. Take your time coming up. And once you get all the way up, flip your right foot 90 degrees to the right so it's toward the top of the mat. Turn your left toes in a few degrees. Tee the arms out to the sides and sink into the right knee. So we're finding warrior 2 on the right side. Look at your right foot. Make sure you can see your right big toe peeking out over the top of your knee. And if you can't, you might need to step that right foot forward a little bit. And then draw your left shoulder back so it's behind your right shoulder. Reach out past the fingertips. Start to engage your left quad. So the left quads are really strong here. We're going to keep that strong left quad all the way through this sequence. On your inhale here, straighten the right knee. Shift your hips to the left, shoulders to the right. Come down to extended triangle. So you could have a little bend in that front knee if you need it. Reaching the left arm above the shoulder. And we've got deep side bending with a little rotation. So drawing the left shoulder back. Gaze up to the thumb. Take a big breath. And then strong in your legs, strong in your belly. Inhale, rise up. Sink back into the right knee, coming back into warrior 2. Turn your palms forward, and then tip sideways again to the right, right elbow or right fingers. You could either stretch the left arm up, or palm facing down, sweep the left arm over your left ear. And then again, work on side bending and rotating so the chest starts to revolve, open toward the ceiling. Stay for a breath. Check to be sure your left quad is still strong. Low belly engaged. Inhale, rise up, warrior 2. And then as you exhale, cartwheel the hands around the right foot. Step back to plank. Option to stay in plank. Take knees, chin, and chest. Or float through chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to down dog. A couple of breaths here. This is always an option to take child's pose or table. If you need a little break for your shoulders or your wrists, feel free to drop into child's pose. One more big belly breath. And at the end of your exhale, look forward to your hands. As you inhale, walk or jump, feet between the hands. Touch your shins, lift up halfway. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart, gaze forward. Coming back to mountain pose for a breath. And then as you inhale here, we're going to sink the hips back and down like you're sitting in a chair. Sweep the arms forward. So one option here is just to reach the arms straight ahead. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. Tuck the tailbone, so we're coming into chair pose.
If you feel stable here, your heels are down, your abdominals are strong, you can start to lift the arms a little higher. Just be careful that doesn't cause you to bow your back or dump your abdominals. Pull the abdominals in. Stay for one more breath here. And then as you exhale, hands to chest, come back into that forward fold. Inhale, touch your shins, find that half lift. And as you exhale, plant your hands, take 2 steps to plank. Option for a vinyasa if you want it. Knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, release to downward facing dog. So press the hands into the mat to strengthen the upper body. Draw the shoulder blades down. Engage the low belly. We're going to turn the left heel in and down. So the big toe turns out, the heel turns in. And then step the right foot between the hands. Find that body weight in your legs and sweep the arms overhead, lifting into warrior one. Sink into the right knee. Draw the left rib cage forward to square the chest and the belly toward the front of the mat. It might help to lift the left heel and come into crescent, but if you can keep the left heel down and work that forward position in the ribs, you'll get a little bit more stretch in that left hip. Sinking into the right knee, fingertips reaching up, shoulder blades drawing down. Take another full breath. And then as you exhale, bring your hands to your chest. We're going to twist to the right, crossing the left elbow over the right knee, or maybe just dropping the left hand and stretching the right arm up. So this might be the point where you need to pick up your left heel. If you need to, just do. Stay for another breath. And then exhale, eyes down, hands down. We're going to sweep the right leg high and come into 3-leg dog. So reach through the right heel, flex the foot, 5 toes point to the floor. Take a full breath. And then step your right foot underneath your chest. So we're not going to bring the right foot quite as high. Dial the left heel down. Walk your hands back. Bring your hands to your hips. And with a nice long spine, come all the way up. You want to make sure you've got a little space between the feet so you're stable. And then use your hands to turn your hips forward in the same direction as your right big toe. Keep your right hand on your right hip. Sweep your left arm up. As you exhale, hinge forward, reaching the left hand toward the top of your mat. Now your left hand may come to your right thigh or your right shin. It might be able to reach to the floor. We're going to keep the hips as level as possible. Reach through the crown of the head. And then if you want to find a little rotation here, working into revolve triangle, start to turn your chest toward the right side. The last layer here is to stretch the right arm up. But as you do that, try to keep turning the hips forward and down. So the right hip rolls forward, even as the right arm stretches up. Stay for another breath. And then exhale, bring that right hand down. Step the right foot back, finding plank position. Option for a vinyasa here, or you can hold plank. Take knees, chin, and chest, or chaturanga, up dog, or cobra. And then we'll press to downward facing dog. Keep rolling the shoulders away from the ears. Stay for one breath. And then we're going to change sides. So bring your right heel in and down. Step your left foot between your hands. Find that body weight in your legs so you can lighten up your fingers. Sweep up to warrior one. So we're trying to bend into the left knee. Square the ribs and shoulders and hips to the front. Maybe the right heel comes up, coming into crescent. Maybe the right heel can stay grounded. Reach through the fingertips. Option to create a little lift and back bend. Lifting the heart, lifting the gaze. One more full breath. Exhale, hands to heart, twisting to the left. Bring the right elbow across the left knee. Maybe the right hand comes down and the left arm stretches up. So finding that deep rotation. Stay for a full breath. And then eyes down, hands down, swing the left leg through, finding three-leg dog. 5 toes point to the floor, stay for one breath. And then we'll step the left foot under the chest, dial the right heel down, walk the hands back, reach the hands to the hips, and then hinge all the way up to standing. Square your hips, square your shoulders, keeping your left hand on your left hip, sweep the right arm up, and then hinge forward, keeping the spine long, reaching the crown of the head toward the top of your mat. Your right hand can go to your left shin. And so one option is just to stay here, work on flattening out the sacrum, start to rotate the chest toward the left side. Maybe the right fingers can reach down. If you have a block, it's a great place for a block. Stretch the left arm up as that last layer if you want it. One more breath. This is revolve triangle. And then exhale, 2 hands down. Take a step back to plank. Option to hold your plank position or exhale, chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to downward dog. One more full belly breath here. And at the end of your exhale, go ahead and release your knees to the mat, coming back down to tabletop. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet resting on the floor. So let's make this table really strong. So press into your hands like you're pushing the floor away. Lift your belly up toward your spine. Keep your low back stable, strong arms, strong abdominals. Stretch your right leg behind you, flexing your right foot. 5 toes point to the floor, and then reach your left arm out. So we're coming into a 2-leg table, gazing down in the direction of the right thumb. Stay for another breath. As you exhale, we're going to try to tap the left elbow to the right knee. So curl your spine, squeeze everything in. Inhale, stretch back out, 2-leg table. Let's do 2 more. Exhale, curl in, squeeze the abdominals. Inhale, reach out. And then one more time. Exhale, curl in. Strong in your abdominals. Inhale, reach out. And then let the left hand float down. Take the right leg wide. Sit back in 3-point child's pose. Maybe propping on the elbows. Maybe folding the arms under the head. Or maybe stretching the arms out and dropping the head to the floor. 3 rounds of belly breath here. One more deep breath. And then with your inhale, lift your way back up to 3-leg table. We're going to slide the left foot forward and take a seat behind the left leg. Sweep your right leg around so the right leg comes toward the top of your mat, and the left leg is going to stay folded in. So find the top of your sit bones here. Your left foot can sit low against the ankle, into the calf, into the knee, or into the thigh, whatever allows you to sit all the way up on your sit bones. Take your left hand to your right thigh and just take a twist to the right side. So we're trying to find a lot of length, perching on the base of the pelvis, reaching through the crown of the head, and then finding rotation to the right side. Stay for a breath. And with your exhale, turn back towards your right big toe. Soften your right knee if you need to. Reach for your shin, your ankle, or your foot. Inhale to find some length in the spine. And then exhale, coming into head to knee. So we're going to literally curl the head down toward the knee. Pull on your grip just a little bit, creating compression in the front of the body. So the front of the body is tight as the back of the body is releasing. Stay for a breath.
And then release your grip, come back up to seated slowly. We're going to lean back just a little bit, pick up the left foot with the right hand, move the left knee, opening the left hip. And then we'll cross the left ankle over the top of the right thigh, lean back onto the hands, drag the right heel in, coming into that seated figure four or that seated pigeon. And it might feel good just to rock the hips side to side or rock the knees side to side. And then we'll come into the stretch by bringing the legs to the center, walking up a little taller, trying to bring the chest and the shin close together. So you should be feeling a stretch here in your outer left hip. If you're not, maybe flex your right foot. So that gives you a little more range, a little deeper stretch. Take another breath. And then just release by sliding the right leg long. We're going to keep the left ankle crossed over and tuck the right heel under. So this is fire log. If you can stack left heel on right knee and right knee or left knee over right heel, then the shins are going to be parallel to the top of your mat. If that doesn't work, then you could just come into a comfortable cross-leg position with your left leg on top or your left leg in front. So whatever works for your hips. You want to be able to fold forward. So if you're in fire log, tent your fingers on the floor, well, wherever you are with your legs. Tent your fingers and then walk your fingers forward and come into a forward fold. So whatever variation you took, you should be feeling stretch again in your left hip because your left leg is on top or your left leg is in front. Stay for a full belly breath. And then walk your way back upright. Good. Take the legs out, feet shoulder distance apart. Walk your hands behind you. Point your fingertips towards your toes. Option to stay seated and just lift your chest, finding a back bend, or press all the way up to reverse table. Just a breath here. And then release, bring your seat down, cross your ankles, roll forward. We're going to go back to tabletop, so walk your knees back, knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders, spread your fingers wide. So let's again make that tabletop really strong. Press into your hands like you're pushing the floor away. Lift your belly, keep your low back really strong and stable, keeping all that locked in place. Extend your left leg, squeezing into the left glute just a little bit. 5 toes point to the floor, and then your right arm reaches out. Make sure you haven't collapsed toward the floor, so try to keep pressing away. Take a big breath. And as you exhale, right knee curls to the left elbow. Squeeze the abdominals in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, curl in. Round the back. Squeeze the core. Inhale, reach out. One more time. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, reach out. Reach the right hand back down. Take the left leg wide. Sit back in 3-point child's pose. So remember again, you may prop on the elbows, you might be up on the hands, you might be able to come down on the forehead. 3 slow, full breaths here. Releasing into the left hip and the left groin. Last belly breath. And then as you inhale, lift your way back up to tabletop. We're going to scoot the right heel forward, take a seat behind the right leg, swing the left leg to the top of your mat. And so you can adjust the right foot wherever you need it to be so that you can come all the way up to the top of your sit bones. Left leg is long and straight. Right hand to the left thigh. Take that twist to the left. See if you can reach through the crown of your head. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. And just gaze over your shoulder or over toward the left side of your mat. One more breath here. And then as you exhale, come back to center. Soften your left knee if you need to. Reach for your ankle, your knee, your shin, whatever you can reach. Inhale for length. And then exhale, head bent to knee, curl your forehead down towards your knee. And then to create compression, pull on your grip. So whatever you're holding, go ahead and make your arms really strong. Squeezing into the front of the body, releasing the back of the body. One more big breath. And then release the grip, come back up to seated slowly. Lean back just a bit so you can pick up your right foot, move your right knee, opening up your right hip a bit. And then we're just going to cross the right ankle over the top of the left thigh. Lean back, drag the left heel in, and then stay back on your hands just a little bit to rock the knees side to side. So just that gentle motion in the hips before we stretch. And then we'll come to center, walk your way a little taller so the chest comes closer to the shin, and you should be feeling that deep release in the right hip. If you need a little more, lift the sole of the left foot. Take a breath or two here. Good, and then extend the left leg out. We're going to keep the right leg crossed. Fold the left leg under. Remember, options are fire log with ankle on knee, knee on ankle, or just a comfortable cross leg position, or even that left leg in front of the right leg. Whatever's going to allow you to come back onto the top of your sit bones. You want this right knee releasing down toward the floor, and then find a forward fold. So deeper stretch here in the right hip, into the right knee. Use your breath to let go. Find space. One more full breath. And gently walk your way back up. Release the legs. Put the feet flat on the floor. Feet shoulder distance again. Walk your hands behind you. I'm going to give you the option to repeat reverse table, maybe seated with a lift in the chest, maybe lifting the hips up, or if you want to come into reverse plank, extend your legs long, press the hands into the floor, tuck the elbows back, lift the hips up, and work on pressing the big toes down toward the ground. Stay for a breath. And then exhale, release, bring the hips down slowly. Walk your way off the hands onto the sit bones. Bring the soles of the feet together, coming into bound angle with the legs. Walk your hands behind you, and we're going to come all the way down on the back. So keeping the legs in this bound angle position or this butterfly position. As you come down on your back, tuck your tailbone under. If it feels like this is not comfortable for your hips or your low back, slide your feet a little lower, so that you can rest your knees close to the floor. Maybe place your hands lightly on the tops of your legs and just encourage that opening and stretching in the fronts of the hips. You can gaze up to the ceiling. You could close your eyes here. We're going to stay for a few rounds of breath. One more full breath here. And then draw your knees together. Plant your feet flat on the floor. Walk your feet close to your sit bones, so your feet are as close to the back of your body as you can get them. Drop your hands down. Keep your head down, your shoulders down. Spread your toes wide. Back tilt your pelvis, so you're going to press your low back just a little closer to the floor to create that tuck in the tailbone, and then maintaining that tuck, press into your feet, lift your hips away from the floor, maybe reach the arms a little more deeply under the body, big toes pointing forward, kneecaps pointing forward. Stay for one breath and bridge. And as you exhale, curl the spine back down to the floor. Extend your right leg straight. Pull your left knee into your chest, squeezing around the shin to pull the knee in. At the same time, the left knee pulls in. Reach through the right heel. Flex the right foot as if you were standing on the right leg, strong in your quad. Stay for another breath. And then release and extend the left arm sideways with the palm facing up. Use your right hand to guide your left knee across to the right. You might need to roll onto the side of the right hip. And then once your left knee is down, try to shift the shoulders so 2 shoulder blades are resting on the floor. Either look up to the ceiling or look over to your left hand. Let's take 3 long, slow belly breaths here. And after that third breath, draw your knees back to center. Tuck 2 knees into the chest. Lift up your head and your shoulders. Wrap your arms around your legs. Rock yourself gently a few times. And then release your feet back down to the floor. Heels close to the sit bones. Drop your hands, head down, shoulders down. Back tilt your pelvis so your low back gets closer to the floor, the tailbone reaches toward the heels, and then press into the feet to lift the hips up. Option to tuck the shoulder blades under, maybe clasp the hands together. Make sure you're pressing evenly into both feet and the kneecaps are still turning forward. Still have some weight in the heels. Take another breath. And then release, bring the hands out of the way, slide the spine back down to the floor. We'll extend the left leg long, pull the right knee into the chest, lace your hands around your right shin, pull your knee towards you. And then once the knee is tucked in, make the left leg active. So the quad is strong, the foot is flexing. And then release the grip, open the right arm sideways. Use the left hand to bring the right knee across, maybe sliding onto the side of the left hip. Work on getting the shoulder blades down. Either look to the ceiling or look to the right. And take 3 slow, full breaths here. And then gently, once you've had those 3 breaths, bring your knees back to center. Might feel good to lift and tuck the knees in, rock sideways a few times, or maybe come into happy baby, head and shoulders down, holding the outer calves or the ankles or the feet, and just moving sideways a few times, letting all that go. So we're ready to stretch out to Savasana. If you'd like to take any last stretch before we do that, feel free to take time. If you're ready just to come into Savasana, extend your legs out long. Bring your arms down by your body. Turn your palms to face the ceiling. Close your eyes. Take a second here to release all the muscles in your face. So let go of your facial expression. Unwrinkle your brow. Soften your eyes. Unhinge your jaw. Unstick your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Notice if there's any tension in the back of your neck. And if you feel like the back of your neck is still a little bit tight, drop your chin towards your chest, creating some length in the back of your neck. And then go ahead and melt your shoulder blades into the floor. And soften your low back and your belly. And let your hips melt into the floor. Feel the weight of your arms, the weight of your legs. And for these final few moments of practice, just bring your awareness back to your breath. Notice the soft flow of inhales and exhales. And with the next few breaths that you take, begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, maybe turn your head sideways a few times, gently moving around any way you like. And when you're ready, stretch your arms up, point your toes, give yourself a big squeeze and a stretch, and fold your knees in. Take your time here. Roll to one side if you like, or just rock up to seated. Come into a comfortable cross-legged position. Bring your hands to your chest and bow your head just a bit. And before we close out, maybe just a moment to offer yourself some kind words. Maybe a moment to appreciate the space that you've created with your breath in your body. Gratitude for this time to take care of yourself so that you may take care of the world. I encourage you to take your practice into your life today. So be with your body and your breath. Stay centered, stay calm. Namaste. Thank you for joining me.